Welcome to planning financial sustainability for your broadband network. Local and tribal governments should first discuss the issue of network sustainability in the early stages of developing their broadband project plan. If a local or tribal government intends to take an active role in building new or additional broadband network infrastructure, they and any organizations they partner with should plan how to sustain network operations over the long term, taking into account the amount of capital and labor that will be needed for the project. The National Telecommunications and Information Administration has a Broadband USA toolkit to assist tribes in planning, implementing, and sustaining their broadband network. So getting this toolkit is highly recommended. Check it out. Whatever the option, it's always important to plan for success, not only to establish the broadband service, but to ensure sustainable growth over the long term. To increase that staying power, let's talk about 5 action points that will help to maintain your established broadband network. First, it's important to stabilize your revenue. The funds necessary to keep a network operating are significant. Network operations need revenue streams that generate predictable income and achieve a level of predictable costs to be sustainable over the long term. To achieve this, management should develop a business plan relying on multiple sources of revenue and leveraging the financial strengths of partners. Grants or loans from federal sources, such as federal agencies, states, banks, or economic development-oriented community foundations, often play a major role in funding broadband infrastructure deployment and planning. While grants are often used to begin a broadband planning initiative and stimulate capital investment, it is not recommended to rely primarily on them to stabilize broadband network revenue. Because the availability of grant monies fluctuate and the funding priorities of awarding agencies or foundations change, they should not be counted on to sustain your future. However, what a broadband network does provide is an opportunity to offer a much sought-after core service, access to high-speed broadband. Customers will pay monthly fees for packages of broadband services, including wholesale transport and/or capacity and retail service. If managed properly, these fees will not fluctuate wildly from year to year. This is why basic service revenue should be the baseline of the broadband network's business plan. The business plan should reflect the costs associated with sustaining basic service revenues month after month, year to year. Revenue projections for future years reflect expected income from basic service plus revenue generated from additional services and capacity leases over time. These additional services, such as leasing, are what really ensures stability. Revenue from long-term leases can derive from the following: capacity on unused network optical fiber or dark fiber, conduit along highways or under city streets through which other broadband operators can run fiber, real estate where other broadband providers or partners can locate towers, antennas, hubs, or other network equipment, or public buildings or other structural space that other broadband operators might use to house facilities, such as network operations centers. 10 to 20-year leases may stabilize revenue flowing to the broadband operation if the local or tribal government channels it into their budgets for this purpose rather than into a general revenue fund. Just remember, broadband infrastructure projects are more resilient when they derive revenue from diverse sources and leverage the expertise and capabilities of broadband partners involved in the initiative to improve operational efficiencies and customer service. Second, regularly evaluate operational efficiency, effectiveness, and expenses. To ensure a long-lasting broadband operation, management should review expenses frequently, update expense statements regularly, reduce unnecessary expenses, and boost operational efficiency. Conducting a comprehensive operational assessment on a regular basis provides management with crucial data upon which to make strategic decisions to help keep costs down and the network running smoothly. Consider the following best practices for management on integrating operational assessments into everyday practice. Make cost savings and efficiency a top management objective. Simply stabilizing revenues will not be sufficient to sustain a broadband network. Management should also examine how efficiently the broadband network functions. Conduct regular operational assessments to provide a comprehensive view of how well the network is functioning. This step also provides management with data to determine whether there should be changes to core components of partnership agreements, vendor contracts, staff plans, or other arrangements that directly affect the network's financial health. Use detailed operations data to gain insights on where to make improvements. Data collection and reporting begins in the construction phase of the project and continues as the network is activated as part of weekly, monthly, and annual operational reporting. This data is key to effectively analyzing any operational assessment. Next, monitor staffing levels. A capital-intensive infrastructure project should keep its staff lean to minimize labor expenses and keep cash flows positive. Management should compare evaluations of employee performance and customer satisfaction to guide decisions on appropriate staffing levels. Outsourcing some operational activity is one strategy that may improve the bottom line. Third, observe and analyze what customers want. Management should use customer and market analysis to estimate broadband demand more accurately in their financial projections and network development plans, thereby strengthening their business plans. This allows management to anticipate customer needs and wants. Offering what a customer wants allows you to offer customers long-term service agreements. Entering into multi-year service agreements with customers has several benefits. Locking in customer contracts reduces revenue uncertainty and frees up marketing staff to pursue agreements with other customers. Longer contract terms allow for a greater understanding of customer requirements and how their needs change over time. They instill community confidence in management's commitment to build and operate the network continuously over the long term, a perception that will likely generate additional referrals. Fourth, expand customers and service offerings. Management's business plan may assume that the broadband network will generate sufficient revenue from paying customers to cover operating expenses. Developing a range of additional services can help fund network operations over a prolonged period of time. At a minimum, management should annually review service offerings and the potential for expansion. Fifth, update the strategic business plan to meet evolving needs and mitigate risk. Management should regularly update financial pro formas to see how its decisions affect income, cash flows, and costs, as well as to assess the need for capital outlays for future technology upgrades. A pro forma financial statement is a collection of financial statements that are based on certain assumptions and projections. An organization prepares pro forma financial statements in an effort to provide a big picture view of its overall financial situation. Making strategic adjustments to the business plan enables management to avoid or mitigate risks to the broadband network's continued operational and financial health. Whether a broadband infrastructure project derives revenues from a grant, a line item in the budget of a local or tribal government, a project partner, or paying customers, management should stabilize the network's financial support by generating its own income streams and pursue different financial strategies to keep the network operations funded for the long term. So just remember the 5 action points of network sustainability. Stabilize revenue. Regularly evaluate operation efficiency, effectiveness, and expenses. Observe and analyze what customers want. Expand customers and service offerings. and update the strategic business plan to meet evolving needs and mitigate risk. If you pay attention to these 5 things, you will lay a solid foundation to sustainable operational success of your tribal broadband business. See you next time.